Hello fellow demon hunters, Dev here. I finally got myself to do the tanking challenge when the mage tower was up this time around, and as promised made this video on how I managed to kill High Lord Crew, and by doing so try and help at least some of the people that are struggling to defeat him. Being a main spec Havoc demon hunter, I can't say that I'm really experienced with vengeance tanking, and that this will definitely be the easiest and best way for people to do it, but I think I have had a decent amount of time tanking in both Emerald Nightmare and Nighthold, and of course in Mythic Plus, to have an idea of what should make it easier to complete this challenge. This will not be a strict guide, I will just give tips and what I found useful and helpful, as well as of course share with you my choice of legendaries, build and tactics for completing this challenge. In my opinion, this challenge is a lot easier and simpler compared to the Havoc one, and it took me around half of the tries to finish it, so around 25. I don't really think that the appearance is that good, but personally I do it more for the challenge itself, because I really like beating these kinds of tests of skill, if I can put it that way. So enough useless talking, let's jump straight to my talent setup and choice of legendaries for this fight. Similar to the Havoc Demon Hunter challenge, this fight has two phases, but unlike in the Havoc one, you can't really change your talents or items in between the phases simply because there are usually ads still up during that time. So this is the talent setup I am using for both of the phases, and of course I don't switch any items in between. I'll give you a quick run through my talent setup and why I use that, and a quick run through my item choices as well. So first, second and third row are pretty straightforward. I pick Razor Spikes, Burning Alive and Flame Crash simply because they are all the best in those rows for DPS increase in my opinion. At least for the DPS increase you need, because it's like AoE for that ad management. Next row, the fourth row, is kinda complicated. I know most people go with Soul Rending because it's really good if you get a Metamorphosis proc. You have that 50% extra leech which just helps you keep yourself alive that much. But Fracture is really good as well. It does a lot of damage and gives you soul shards on demand. But again, I just found it weird to use in this fight. What I went for is Feed the Demon, and the main reason behind that is because I'm using a specific legendary, the Leech Ring, but I'll come to that in a second. So in the fifth row, what I use is Quickened Sigils. Sigil of Chains, I didn't really find a place where I'd want to use it, and the cooldown on it is just too long for it to actually be better than any of the other two. Concentrated Sigils is always really nice, especially for DPS, but if you actually screw up and get pushed back by some of the ads, it ends up like putting the interrupt or the fear that you need for some ads, or the boss itself even, in a weird spot, so that can cost you a wipe. It certainly did cost me a couple of wipes, and I just decided to go for Quickened Sigils. It just makes the sigils activate quicker as well, so you can put it at a certain time and be sure that it's actually gonna interrupt the thing, because without it you kind of feel like, is it gonna pop before it, after it, you don't really know. But I'd personally tell you, go Quicken Sigils, you can place it wherever you want and it triggers a lot faster. Next talent row, I went for Fell Devastation. I think that's the best talent in this row by far. It gives you really nice burst damage as well as burst healing on demand, and it helps with just pretty much everything that you have to do in this fight. It helps with killing the ads, it helps with damaging the boss as well, so definitely go for Fell Devastation. Last row, again, this is the other complicated row. I went with Last Resort personally, and it actually did save me in the kill itself, but I tried with Soul Barrier. Most of my tries were with Soul Barrier actually, and I really like this talent, but I didn't find a place where I could actually use it in a way that it helps me a lot. So I tried Demonic Infusion after that, but then again, with that one and Feed the Demon, I didn't find a place where I needed another, set of Demon Spike charges. So I just went with Last Resort and said, it's gonna save me from a screw up. As for items, I use the Force set. Again, mainly because I use the Leech Ring, you just have a really nice uptime on Demon Spikes because of it. For legendaries, I use the ring. First of all, again, it gives you 15% leech while Demon Spikes is active, and that's just really nice because with this setup, you have like, let's say 90% uptime on demon spikes, and that 15% leech might look not that much, but it really does help you like just sustain yourself and doesn't really feel like you're in danger most of the fight. As for second legendary, I'm using the DPS bracers. I mainly use them because I need to kill those small ads that pulsate, and that's the part I've found most annoying. You just have to find a way to kill them as fast as you can, and the Throgglaive legendary is the one I found most useful for them. For trinkets, I use 2 mastery stat sticks simply because mastery, as you know, increases our attack power as well. I tried with Pridas, I tried with the crafted boots, I even tried with Q Jaden's Burning Wish, but all of those didn't really help me in the way that bracers and ring did, simply because I don't feel like I'm taking that much damage, and Q Jaden's Burning Wish isn't always up for the ads, so I think bracers are by far the best one for killing the ads. So for the fight itself, make sure you flask up, eat up, and if you have some spare runes, use those as well before you actually start the encounter. What I found best for me is using an agility flask for the damage increase, and then versatility food for the all-round buff. You know, you get healing increase, damage increase, and survivability. As well as do make sure you have some drums because they are really helpful in second phase because the damage does matter to some extent. So what you want to do is pop prolonged power, jump in, do as much damage as you can because this is the guy you need to kill for the actual boss to spawn. Don't listen to Velen, don't look at the light, look at the eyes. That's the first type of ads that's gonna spawn in this phase and throughout all the phases. Those eyes work in the same way as they do in Vote of the Wardens. They start casting something on you, you can see that big line, green twirly line towards you. If they finish the cast and you're not looking towards them, they're gonna bump you back a long distance. It's not really gonna kill you as a demon hunter, you can just glide back, but it's more of an annoyance and just throws you around the place. So do make sure you look at them and actually kill them at some point. These are the second type of ads you need to deal with. What they do is they hit you, with basic attacks. They cleave in some way and that adds up, so you want to kill them ASAP. They also do a cast, which if it goes through, they start channeling a spell. And that spell is gonna do ticking AoE all around them. What you want to do with that cast is you want to actually let it through and then interrupt all of them after it has started ticking, like it has done the first tick. Why you want to do that is because how it works is if you interrupt it after they actually started casting the thing, they're not gonna start casting it again. While if you interrupt it before the cast has started, like before they have done the first tick, then after the silence from the sigil or the fear has ended, they're just gonna start casting it again and you're not gonna have anything to answer that with. So to sum up, interrupt them, kill them ASAP. Another tip is keep them close to the boss when you're interrupting them, because that's gonna interrupt or fear the boss as well, and that's gonna, take some damage off of you because he's constantly casting a spell like Mind Rend, which does some amount of damage to you. So it's always nice keeping them next to the boss. The third type of ads are the Infernos. What they do is they do a frontal cone, you can see it right now, that knocks you back. It's not gonna kill you again, you're a demon hunter, you can just glide back, but again it's annoying, so try and dodge that, not like I'm doing half of the time. What they do as well is they do an AoE pulse around them and shrink at some points. I don't really know how those work, but they don't really do that much, so they're like your last priority. They aren't gonna kill you in my opinion, so kill them at some point, but don't make them your main focus during the fight. Let's not forget the boss. What he does is 3 main things. First, he has that aura around him always. While you're in that, you're gonna take a stacking debuff. What it does is reduces your max health. How I deal with that is I take 3-4 stacks maximum, then run out, deal with other stuff, run back into DPSM after they've fallen off. Second is Mind Rend. It's a spell he casts, it hits for magic damage. Usually I use demonic wards when I have 3 or 4 stacks of the debuff from the aura to make the damage not feel so big. And the third one is drain life. You always want to interrupt that, because else it's gonna start healing him and you are struggling more than enough with actually killing him. So do make sure you always keep your single target interrupt for drain life. So that's pretty much all the stuff you need to take care of in the first phase. It's a lot of things, but it's not really that complicated. And even if you screw up with eyes or infernos knocking you back, you can always just recover from that by gliding back to the platform. Now we're in second phase. Pop drums, pop second pot, start nuking everything. Ads are gonna stay, deal with them the same way. You see these purple lines, jump over them, glide. You can absolutely ignore them as a demon hunter. If they hit you, they are gonna push you back towards the edges, but just jump over them, ignore them. You don't wanna care about that. Boss is now gonna start casting a couple of things. First is those green puddles. When he does it, just move out. Probably keep flame crash for that so you can jump to the side. Other than that, he's gonna cast twisting reflection. You want to always keep your single target interrupt for that, because if it goes through, you're gonna get a debuff, which when you hit the boss is gonna heal him. So if that happens, it's pretty much a certain wipe. There is no way you can kill the boss at that point. The other thing he does is annihilate, and what it does is it does a lot of physical damage to you, and it stacks a debuff on you as well with each cast. So every next one hits for more. You wanna be close to the orbs, let the first annihilate go through, and then after that try and use an orb for each and every single one of the other ones when he starts casting him, because the orbs actually interrupt him, they disorient or whatever. So make sure you don't let a lot of annihilates go through, because they just one-shot you. And other than that, you just need to kill him before he manages to kill you. Thank you all for watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope this video will help at least some people with finishing the challenge. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, I always try to answer all of them. Of course, if you found the video useful and liked it, give it a thumbs up, it means a lot. And if you are interested in more gaming videos in the future, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel, that means a lot as well. If you're interested in finishing the Havoc challenge, I will put a link of my guide somewhere on the video, you can check that as well. And what can I say? Best of luck on the Broken Shore, champions. Oh my god, I didn't use drums or this.